Nothing would have given anyone a reason to believe that that camping trip would have ended the way it did.
The grim mystery begins to unfold when firefighters respond to early morning reports of a raging brush fire at Bucks Lake, a popular Northern California camping spot where Trevor Holminski and his close pal Sheldon Stewart had spent the night. And as firefighters are trying to bring the blaze under control, they make a horrifying discovery. Sheldon savagely slashed and nearly unconscious.
There were approximately 10 stab wounds on the side of his neck, and one was a little bit worse than the rest.
Then firefighters find something else that makes them recoil in horror.
Came across a hot spot, and it turned out to be a body.
Burned beyond recognition, lying in a campfire pit, smoke still rising from the charred skeleton.
In a fetal position.
And investigators know immediately that the body hadn't been burned in the brush fire.
How bad the body was burned, it would take more than just a regular fire. It would basically have to be stoked.
This had to be intentional.
Correct. This was definitely no accident at all.
A fire had suddenly become a murder scene, and District Attorney David Hollister says investigators are scrambling.
Getting the crime scene under control, figuring out what was going on, how many assailants might be out there, and exactly what happened, especially at a time when we were trying to really fight a fire that we were concerned was going to take the whole forest.
Hollister says there are more questions than answers.
What weapon was used to perpetrate the crime? Where it happened? We're up here in the woods. It's very easy to hide things up here.
And the biggest mystery of all? Just whose body is that?
It's pretty shocking, and at that time it was very chaotic up here.
Investigators assume it's Sheldon's pal, Trevor Holminski. But they're thrown for a loop when Sheldon regains full consciousness and tells them from his hospital bed that Trevor had attacked him with a knife and run into the woods.
Took off from the camping area, and he didn't know where he was.
So now investigators fear Trevor could be a homicidal maniac who tried to kill his best friend and burned another camper alive. And he's apparently on the loose at Bucks Lake.
And was running through the forest with a knife.
Investigators have no reason to doubt Sheldon is telling the terrible truth.
What did you think of him?
I thought Sheldon was a nice young man. He was very polite. He was soft-spoken. He was articulate. I think he had a very nice personality, was easy to talk to.
An easygoing Oakland chef with a clean record and a good reputation.
Had good friendships and good friends.
And as Sheldon recovers from his wounds, he tells investigators a story about a camping expedition that turned out to be a real bad trip in more ways than one.
He gives me some tabs, a little piece of paper, and we take them, and we're having a really good night.
Sheldon tells detectives they ingested around 20 hits of LSD, otherwise known as acid, and also smoked pot.
So him being really aggressive.
Both tripping out so badly that Sheldon says Trevor does something that shocked him.
He was hitting on me, but he wouldn't come out and say it.
Are you guys kind of sorted in a relationship?
No, we've never had any type of physical relationship like that. It's always just been me hanging out with my best friend.
He tells detectives Trevor was bisexual.
But I never thought that he was attracted to me. He's never said anything about that to me.
Until Trevor falls deeper under the influence of LSD, Sheldon, quoting his friend, as saying,
"Well, dude, we have a fire. All you have to do is just sleep with me, and we can go on with the rest of our lives." And I was like, "I can't do it, Trevor."
And Sheldon claims Trevor tried to rape him, then attacked him with a knife as he was trying to go to sleep.
I just kind of opened my eyes and looked behind me like this without moving. The next thing I know, he's stabbing me in my neck. They said I got stabbed in the neck like 10 times. I don't really remember all that happening. I just remember him standing over me. I kicked him, and he stood up, and he realized that the knife wasn't sharp, and he just threw it and pulled out another knife.
Sheldon says he and his best friend wrestled each other for the knife.
I realized that he was bleeding also. I know I stabbed him in his arm, probably at least 2 times, and he just left.
He walked away?
Yes.
You don't know where he's at?
No, I didn't see him in hours. As far as I know, he's probably still somewhere around the campsite.
while Sheldon is bleeding profusely from his neck and clinging to life.
I laid there for a couple hours. They done was bleed to death. And there was a couple times I blacked out and I woke up, I was still by the fire. I thought I was in hell.
But is Sheldon's real hell just beginning? An autopsy of the charred mystery body at the campsite soon reveals it's Trevor Holminski, who's suddenly gone from possible villain to tragic murder victim.
When you find out your son is gone, how does that hit Mom?
You're just in a fog. You're just in a fog. You have no idea how to get up and put one foot in front of the other. It's absolutely devastating.
It was life-changing.
He was taken from us because someone was selfish and decided that he didn't need to be here anymore.
Next, questions swirl. Is there a crazed killer lurking in the woods?
He thought he'd get away with murder.
He did.
What ultimately was the cause of death?
It could have been either of the stab wounds, either the one to the front or the one to the back.